It's our reality, just your average family, trying to be normal and stay out of trouble, living a double life.
What's up? Today we got Thunderman's Season 4, Episode 1, Thunderman's Banished, the Part 1 and 2. So, OMG, we're on the final season of this great show, and so, yeah, we're on the final season of the Thundermans, and I'm excited because next we got the movie, and after that we got the spin-off show. Who knows what we got next after that? Who knows if the spin-off show is the last thing they'll ever make. I thought this show was the last thing they'll ever make. But then years later, they made the movie, and now they're announcing a sequel series based on the movie. So, yeah. Just saying that, even though this is the final season of the show, this isn't the last time we'll see our Thunder fan. So, I thought it was, but years ago, back when it ended, I thought, hey, this would be I'd be like, sad this would be the last time we'll see them again. Years later, right now, I'm like, OMG, we're getting a sequel series based on this? But anyway. Yeah. This episode starts off with Hank calling Chloe for breakfast. Chloe teleports in her super suit, and it's never explained how they got their powers back after their powers being switched in the season 3 finale. Nope, not explained. It's just tossed aside, being like, oh, I guess we're supposed to be like, oh, maybe the Hero League got them back. It's never explained. They just got all their powers back. Again, it's never explained. I wish they would have done that. I'm like a guy who likes them telling me how this stuff happened. So I wish that the show would have actually shown me how they got their powers back. Because randomly, it's just like, I guess it's been a week. Phoebe says it's been a week, so I guess since it's been a week after the ending of season 3. Chloe says teleports in her super suit, saying, "Thunder baby, reporting for duty." Nora says, "Chloe looks so cute," and Chloe says, "She's not cute. She's a villain's worst nightmare." And Barb says, "Cute or not, Chloe can't be wearing her super suit to preschool." Billy says, "Why not? Everyone knows they're superheroes." And Phoebe says, "Yeah, everything's different now. Last week, Max was an evil villain. Now he's a superhero who just stole her bacon." Max says he just saved the world from watching the weird way Phoebe eats bacon. He says it's not weird, and then she eats bacon like a machine, like a fax machine. Nora says she'll tell them what else is different, and Billy says they get up when they talk, when they speak now. This changes everything. Nora says, "No, look at his phone. They have a fan page with tons of followers." Hank says, in his prime, his fan club had over 1,000 Thunder fans. Billy says he has 250,000. So Hank says, "Yeah, Billy's getting no breakfast." Barbara says, "Can they all please remember this is a family breakfast time?" Nora says, "Yeah, Barb's right." And also, this is the start of Nora having weirdly bright yellow. This is where her hair becomes more dirty brownish, where it's kind of like brown with a bit of yellow with blonde highlights. It looked weird rewatching this and going from what Nora looked like in season 3 to now what she looks like in season 4. What she looked like in season 3 compared to what she looks like in season 4. It was weird. It was hard for me to be like, and also what will be hard for me when we get Thunderman's Returns and seeing all the characters aged up. That will be a shock. But just I don't know. Barb says they should send their Barb's right. They should send their fans pictures of family breakfast. Hank says no. Barb means they shouldn't let their being exposed prevent them from living normal lives. Then a random news anchor who randomly just shows up. It's never explained. says, this just in. The Thundermans are determined to live perfectly normal lives. Next up, you eating your bacon in the right way? Then they tell the guy to get out, and then he doesn't appear until the ending of the next part. So, don't know what happened. Then at Himville High, Phoebe is telling everyone about her latest save. Max shows up saying, "What's going on?" And Oyster shows up, "What's going on?" And Oyster says Phoebe's telling them about the latest save. And Max says he has telekinesis, and Oyster's like, he has the same powers as Phoebe. And Oyster's like, "Are you? Do you?" So Max decides to tell the story by showing with Dark Mayhem. But Maddie, who makes her last appearance in this episode, not last episode like I previously stated. That was the last episode of Link and Roxy. This episode is where Maddie makes her final appearance in the series. I don't know why I said that. I thought it was. I thought that was her last appearance, and then when I looked and I saw her, I was like, "Oh crap!" I did another thing where I remembered a scene and thought last episode was the last time we see Phoebe's cheerleading friend Maddie and Max's date. This episode is the last appearance of Maddie, so bye Maddie, we never see you again. Bye Maddie, we never see you again after this episode. And why are you even here? You basically serve no point. Just remember, why are you even in this episode? You serve no purpose to the actual plot. Just remind everyone that Max used to work for Dark Mayhem. Bye. You should have left in the last episode. Like I said, you serve no point. You just serve to tell everyone that did Max work for Dark Mayhem. Yeah, that's her whole point. What was the point of bringing this character back if her whole point was to say, "Oh, did Max work for Dark Mayhem?" Then the bell rings, she leaves, and then she's never seen again. What was the whole point of bringing this character back? There was no point. Her role of saying did Max used to work for Dark Mayhem could have been replaced by another student who could have just got up and left. So yeah, this is the last appearance of Maddie. Not like last episode where I said it was. I was wrong. I didn't know. I misremembered. But again, why was she even brought back? She serves no purpose, just to remind Max that didn't he used to work for Dark Mayhem? Then she leaves and then we never see her again. There was no point in bringing her back. Oyster says, "Hasn't Max only been good for a week?" Jerry says, "Is Max wearing a new moisturizer?" Max says, "Do they want to hear the story or not?" Then the bell rings and we never see Maddie again after. Again, what was the whole point of bringing her back if you're just going to have her leave and then never show up again? What was the point, writer? Hopefully one day a writer can tell me, "Oh, we got her back, so we gave her character some good thing to leave her character on," or they thought she was going to do more than that, but then they never thought of her again. She's just leaving and then never showing up is super strange. Then Max says, "Hey, wait, come back. It is a new moisturizer. He's just as good as Phoebe, super as Phoebe." Phoebe says, "Whoa, don't get carried away. She's been training her whole life to be a soup. Well, he's been training his whole life to be a villain." Max says, Max says, "That was just a phase. He tried to tell them, but no one would listen." Okay, that's just funny. That literally Max spent 3 seasons telling everyone it was in a phase. It's kind of funny that Max spends 3 seasons yelling, "It's not a phase." But then when he becomes good, he starts to think that everyone else, he was telling them it wasn't phase, and they weren't listening to him when they were telling him that that it's just a phase. So yeah. Either Max is trying to stay good in Phoebe's graces, or he really is now so, or he now just believes it was a phase that no one believed him, even though he was the one telling them not to. Yeah. She seriously doesn't think he's as good as her. Phoebe says, let her say it the hard way. No. Max says, being a superhero isn't about power. It's about training, experience, and seriously what moisturizer he was using, you were just glowing. Max says, he'll never tell. That's lavender body butter. Dang it. Phoebe says, why doesn't she take him out of your mission, show him the ropes? Max says, keep her ropes. He has a mission right here. She didn't even notice the janitor with the VL necklace, as in Villain League. Watch as a pro does it. Phoebe says, Max, no. And Max uses telekinesis on the janitor and sees that in his car, let's see in his card of villainy. A toilet plunger. Phoebe says, whoa. That was close. Max almost thwarted his evil plan of unclogging toilets. Max says, well, what's his VL stands for? Vladimir Lashchenko is very angry with you. And Vladimir leaves, and we never see him again. Another character we never see again that gets in this episode. Max says, yeah, due to a change in circumstances, let her show him those ropes, please. After the opening, yep, Season 4 will be showing. Season 4's opening is now like 8 minutes in. And like the first 3 seasons, it was like it was like a shorter that they have a scene, then it would end, and then they would show the opening. But now they show longer scenes than opening. So after the opening, a neighbor asks Hank to open up her pickle jar. Hank says ever since they were exposed, their neighbors keep asking him to use his superpowers for the sliced thing. Barb says, gee, she has no idea what that's like. And she's cooking Mr. Walter's steak with electricity. Again, they should have told us how they got their powers fixed after the end, after having their power switched in the last episode. But I guess. Chloe teleports in, asking Billy and Nora to draw with her. Billy and Nora, I don't like them in this episode. They're terrible people. They gaslight Chloe. They gaslight their parents. They're terrible people, and now I don't like them. Billy and Nora are the epitome of people who let fame go to their head, because literally, as soon as they get fame, they're like, oh yeah, they're like Chloe. They're middle of the live chat with their fans. Chloe says, live chat with me. And Billy, being the jerk that he is, says that Chloe's not really trending. Crap you, Billy. Crap you, Nora. I like Chloe. If this is a real situation, I'd hang out with Chloe because she is an amazing character. These two are jerks. They shouldn't have and obviously, Barb and Hank know what I'm talking about, as they literally reprimand their kids and telling them to play with their sister. But of course, them being them, they gaslight Chloe into changing it by saying, "Oh, would you like to play now, or do Unicorn Tea Party tomorrow?" Chloe says, "Unicorn Tea Party," and teleports away. At least she's better and more handled in the second half, as she appears more. But wow, this felt like a season 3 episode with Chloe's screen time. At least in the next episode, she gets more screen time. But for being the starring role in the after credits, they literally did nothing with her. She only has 4 scenes in the entire episode. At least in the next episode. In the second half, she has more screen time, but why give her the starring role? This kind of feels like what they did with her in season 1. She shows up, she says something, she leaves. At least in the next episode, she gets more screen time to herself. And I'm glad they're giving, with this season, they're giving Chloe, like, more to do. Because she's one of my favorite characters. Next to Mrs. Wong. And Wolfgang and Principal Bradford. Hank says, that was not cool, guys. You literally gaslighted Chloe. And then they try to gaslight their parents into saying, oh, do they want an apology now or a heartfelt apology later? They suck. This is the first premiere where I actually can't, where I don't actually, this is the first episode of season 4, and this is the first time that I actually don't like Billy Nora. I like Nora fine, but I just never liked Billy. His joke of being dumb was too overplayed, and it just really didn't make me like his character. And now they make me not like his character even more by having him disregard Chloe. No one disregards Chloe on my channel, Billy and Nora. But anyway, back to the plot. Nora says, yeah, Hank says, oh, he gets tomorrow morning, and Barb finally says no. Barb's a little like the character in this episode. I like Barb in this episode because literally, when Hank is suckered in by Billy and Nora's gaslighting, she's the one to basically be like, dude, they're gaslighting you. You can't see it. Like, Barb is my favorite in this episode, in this first half, because of the fact that she's literally telling Hank his kids are gaslighting him. Nora says, come on, Billy. They promised the fans they show him Billy's web toe. No. Don't show him that. I didn't even know Billy had a web toe. Phoebe tells Hank and Barb that she's taking Max out on patrol to teach him how to be a superhero. Max says he knows how to be a superhero. Does anyone know how to spare a cape? He's trying his in the wall. Phoebe says, bye, don't wait up. But that's when a hologram Z-Force message comes through, congratulating Phoebe on how she's a finalist for the newly opened spot on the legendary Z-Force. They'll be watching her over the coming weeks as they make their decision. Good luck. Phoebe says she can't believe she's been considered for a slot for Z-Force. Billy says he knows it's amazing. He knows it's amazing. By the way, what's the Z-Force? And Hank says, they're the most elite superhero in the Hero League. They get the assignments that no one else wants. That no one else can handle. And Barb says, yeah, they're also a superhero team. They're also who to call they're also who the superheroes call when they need saving. And Nora says, yeah, just like the time when Hank got his cape stuck on the Statue of Liberty. And Hank says, oh, this is Phoebe's moment. Barb says, this makes sense. Phoebe's a protector of Hiddenville, which happened at the start of season 3. She defeated King Crab, which started at the end, which she fought at the end of season 2, and she saved the prom, which also started at the end of season 3. So somebody raised her right. Max says, it's time to celebrate. He'll get the ice cream, and Hank flies away. Max says, yeah, pretty cool, now let's go. Phoebe says, they're still doing that. Yeah, this is the moment where I kind of like Phoebe. I like Max. He's my favorite character. So see him literally, Phoebe said she goes saying from training 1 minute to basically being like, oh, she can't have him messing up, making a rookie mistake on her patrol. No. I don't like characters who do that. Who think literally, Phoebe in this episode thinks everything's about her. From her patrol to her Z-Force dream. Apparently everything's about her in this episode, and I don't like it. Phoebe's too condescending. She's too egotistical. No wonder she gets that from Hank. Max says, yeah, why not? Phoebe says, oh, he still thinks they're doing that. And Max says, yeah, why not? And Phoebe says, the Zephyrs is watching him. She can't risk Max making a rookie mistake on her patrol. Again, I think in part 2, the episode starts off with the wheel still spinning. Phoebe says she's so nervous. She wondered where it's gonna stop. Super President Kickbutt says where it's gonna land, and Super President Kickbutt says or when it's gonna stop. It's been spinning for 15 minutes. So fast, it's been spinning for so fast, the Thundermans have already packed up everything. And Hank, did Hank really spin the wheel so hard? Barbara says, Hank has trouble controlling his super strength when he's emotional. Hank says, no, he does not. And then he breaks a object. We don't know what it is. Norman says, they've played so many games around here. Laser the boy, zap the Billy, hold still Billy, I'm gonna zap you. Which was literally just Nora getting her anger on Billy. But still. Which, poor Billy, bro. I don't know why the dude doesn't have any trauma after this. Billy says, does she want to play it one last time? And Nora lasers Billy. Barb asks Chloe why she hasn't packed yet. And Chloe says she doesn't have to because she can always come back. She can always come back. Because she can always come back when she wants with her power. And Super President Kickbutt says, yeah, no, you can't. If they defy her orders, she will have no choice but to forcibly remove their powers permanently. And of course, Phoebe blames Max because she blames Max for ruining her Z-Force dreams and banning them from Himville. But you know who the real fault is? Hers. If she hadn't tried to prove herself and told Max to step aside and tried to launch that thing up, none of this would have happened. So yeah, Phoebe's blaming, and also, so Phoebe's blaming Max when literally everything's on her. If she hadn't tried to complete with Max back and Splatberg her, none of this would happen. And of course, Max says it's her fault. Max says, this is all Phoebe's fault. She should hear how angry Allison is that he's moving. Allison, in a very speedy voice, says, Max, how could you? How could you leave him villain, Max? They just went to the prom and now she's going to ban him? Who does that? And then a bunch of other stuff I couldn't read. Max says, I know, he hates Phoebe too. Phoebe says it's gonna be hard saying goodbye to Cherry. She doesn't know when she's gonna see her. But of course, Cherry busts herself out of one of their moving boxes. I guess Cherry was gonna just thought her plan was to why'd she not wait? She heard her name and was like, okay, time to come out. Time to come out of the box. Cherry says, wow, Phoebe's new house looks like her old house. Phoebe says, they'll always be, she knows it's hard, but Cherry can't come with them. Cherry says, oh, Phoebe, they'll always be besties. Nothing will take her away. Then Superman tells the Hero League to take Cherry away, and she gets beamed up, or gets beamed away. And that's the last we see of Cherry until the next half. Don't know where Cherry went. Did she go home? Who knows? Did she have to fight an alien battle for gladiators of octopuses and scorpions in a Hero League Coliseum? Who knows? We'll never know. I'm just going to imagine that Cherry battled octopuses in a Hero League Coliseum. Phoebe says, yeah, you sent her home, right? Kickbutt gets alerted that the new undercover family who will be moving into Thunder House has arrived. Cherry said, has shown up. Phoebe says, Superman Kickbutt's is selling their house. And Superman Kickbutt says, the Hero League put a lot of money into the play. Then the thunderman alerts them to that she costs $3 million. That was the hardest I've laughed at this show. Just either from Chloe or Mrs. Wong. That literally the Thunder Monitor just shows up to say she costs $3 million. that was funny. That's when the new Super family shows up. Falcon Man and his wife Iron Grip, who obviously with her grip injures Hank's Iron Grip injures Hank's arm. Falcon Man says, "Nice place he got here. Let's go, white honey. Let's see if there's a room upstairs for his Superman." So the Superman Kickbutt says, "That's weird." Yeah. Superman Kickbutt says, "Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird?" Is weird. Says that's weird. Where's their daughter? And Nora says, "Does anyone smell bubblegum?" Then the daughter says, "That's her. Her name is Candy Falconman, and her name is Candy Falconman." And asks who are those little cooties are. Billy gets a crush on this girl, which is gross because he's like, what, 12 and she's like 17? Okay, I never knew Nickelodeon could make a meeting like this. Ewy. This girl, Billy even asks her if she has a boyfriend. I don't want to handle this. This is too gross. Billy, you're 12. You should not be asking, or 12 or 13. I don't know how old he is by season 4, but he should not be asking. He should be 12 because he should be like 13 because he should be like 12 or 11 because in Thunderman's Return he's 14. So Nora's 15. He's like 16. So he should be like 13 or 14. 12 or 13, but that does not excuse him having a crush on this teenager. This is Yui. I'm just gonna skip it. Nora asks if she is psychic, so yeah. Can you use your powers to ask whether they want some treats? Ask them to hold their hands. Chloe says, "Cool, candy powers." And Nora says, "Do you need a sidekick?" And Billy says, "Do you need a girlfriend?" One? No, I'm just not touching. A chef from South Park said, "I'm not touching that with a 40-foot pole." That is just too gross. Kenny says, "Aren't they the sweetest little gooey gumdrops?" And Max says, "Yeah, he officially has a cavity. He's gonna go get Colosso." And Max is later. Colosso is in a car. Max asks Colosso if he's packed yet, and what is he doing? Colosso says, "What is he doing when he always gets surprised? He buys stuff he can't afford." Max says, "Quit fooling around, let's go." Colosso says, "About that, no." Since Max insists on being a good guy, he insists on hating Max. And he's staying in him, though. Max says, just because he's good now doesn't mean that they're not best friends. Colossus is like, that's exactly what it means. Good talk. Candy comes down to see her new roommate, and Max asks Colossus would rather live with Wendy Wonka. I love Max. Yes, first one of the season 4. And Max says, anything's better than living with you, anything's better with you, traitor. And Candy says, oh, a talking rabbit, talking bunny, how adorable. Carlson says, he's not adorable, girly, and he's fast and the furious, furry. And Candy kind of shows her bit of her unsweet side by saying, wow, she can see someone who's gonna have to learn their manners. Scaring Colosso, showing that, yeah, she's not all that good as she says she is. I don't know why Superman Kickbutt did not look into this family before she assigned them to the Thundermans. But yeah, Candy needs some help. She needs some therapy. I'll get to what she needs therapy for later, but just saying, this girl needs some help. Nah, yeah. Barbie yells to Max to come back upstairs because the wheel is slowing down. Klaus says if he really wants not coming, I guess this is goodbye. Then Klaus bares his horn so he doesn't hear Max say goodbye. Klaus was such a drama queen. Max leaves and Phoebe says goodbye, friend. Nora says, this is it. Goodbye, House. Phoebe says goodbye, friend. Chloe says goodbye, Penguin. Billy says goodbye, Hiddenville. Hello? Antarctica? That's Antarctica? After the opening, in the Antarctica Thunderhouse. Yeah, that's what I couldn't call it. Hank says, there's a lot of comforts at home. Nora says, well, at home she doesn't eat cereal like an ice pop. Billy says, well, he's loving his pancakes. But then, as he starts to put his syrup on, it freezes over, and he says, nope, they're frozen. Barb asks Phoebe how patrol is, and Phoebe says, pointless, unless you count breaking up a steel fight as safe. And then they start yelling, then they start stealing, and she says, don't make her come back there. Max says he was able to supercharge the modem and give them internet. Now he's able to update his status to freezing. Chloe tells Hank and Barb how she misses Himville. Hank says he knows, but they live in Antarctica now. Barb says, come on, Chloe, let's go freeze her dolly from its icy prison. Barb says he feels bad. If it weren't for them, Chloe would... Also, if it weren't for Phoebe and Max, but... Also, them and Phoebe and Max, they're all playing. Chloe would be living in Himville and wouldn't be playing with doll cubes. Chloe says they can recreate Chloe's favorite thing about Himville right into Antarctica. Billy says, great idea. He's got to take his breakfast to go. Then they leave. Phoebe says Max got his internet working. Max says, that's amazing, because Max says, thank you. And Phoebe says, yeah, because Max usually destroys things like Splatburger and her Z-Force streams. Max says he seems to remember Mrs. Wong shaking her fists at both of them from the ambulance. That was funny. Max then says Claus was calling on his watch. Max says, look who's hopping back. And Claus says Max has to come back to Hiddenville. His friends are in danger. Candy's going to brainwash the whole town. Claus gets cut off and Max says, did Phoebe hear that? Their friends are in danger. Phoebe, of course, doesn't believe it, thinking Claus would do anything to get Max back. So Max says, do one favor and just call Cherry. She says fine, just so she can hear him stop talking. So she can stop talking to him. But her phone calls decline. Phoebe finds that weird, as Cherry never declines her phone calls. She even called her when she was in scuba. Her phone was in rice for months. I don't think that's how you scuba. I've never scuba dived before, but I don't think you're right. Your phone gets stuck in rice for months. Max says, this proves that something's seriously wrong. Phoebe says it wouldn't hurt telling Hank and Barb. Max says that his routes are drama Tell them what? That his rabbit's a drama queen and Cherry doesn't understand how phones work? He's going back to Hinville to help. He's going back to Hinville to help. Phoebe says, whoa, man, if Superman K-pop catches him in Hinville, he'll lose his power and he won't be a superhero. Max says that's a risk he's willing to take. He's not letting Hinville down a second time. If she wants to stay here stay here, that's on her. Max Phoebe says she's going with him. What's good at being a superhero if you can't protect the people you care about? Max says if they're going to do it, they're going to try their best not to get. If they're going to try their best not to get caught. Lucky for me, the master of the sky. Also, by the way, they convinced Chloe to teleport them there. Max says, and Max glasses Max, and Max says, "Who is Max? Who's this Max you speak of? He's just a boy. He's just a boy with poor eyesight." Phoebe thanks Chloe for the ride. Thanks for the ride, Chloe. Don't tell anyone they're here. Chloe says, "Duh." She's not losing her powers, and she teleports away. Phoebe says, "Okay, Candy, let's find out what you're really up to." Max says, "Don't knock," and Phoebe says, "It's on their housing." And Max says, "Just go." And Phoebe says, "They risk their powers to go to a party?" And Max says, "Allison hates parties. Let's find out what's going on." They say, "Hey, Allison." Max says, "Hey, Allison, are you guys okay?" They say in a very hypnotized trance that, Candy Falcon is their bestie and the sweetest person you'll ever met. Phoebe says, "They've been hypnotized." Then Wolfgang says, "Candy Falcon is my Wolfgang on the Wolfgang." I love Wolfgang. Max says, "Oh no, they got Wolfgang." Then Phoebe and Max are intercepted by Candy, who uses rainbow raspberry pixie dust to knock them out. Then Max and Phoebe wake up and find themselves trapped in sticky cotton candy. Max says, "Forget about them. Look what she's done to his sweet lair." Candy says, "It's her sweet lair now." And Max says, and Phoebe says, "Okay, let's freeze this freak." But it doesn't work. Candy says, "Oh, powers don't work on her. She's candy coated." Max says, "Klaus will help. Help them. He was the one who called them here." Klaus says, "Nah, he decided to be Candy's sugar mama." Candy was his sugar mama. Then they make this joke about Max being Klaus' sugar mama. Wow, is this premiere being Ewy? Just two jokes that I find gross. First, Billy hitting on Candy, and now this. Who wrote this? What in the perverted writer's mind who thought this would be a good idea to first make Billy have a crush on this girl, and then second to make a sugar mama joke? Who in their perverted mind thought this was a good idea for the writer's room to make a joke like this? This is just Ewy. This is just Ewy. Max says, "Did Candy use his brainwash XL to turn everyone into her bestie?" Candy says, "That's right. After she hooks up the weapon onto their satellite on the roof, she'll use it on all of the Hiddenville and on all the Hiddenville." Phoebe says, "Why can't Candy just make friends like normally?" Candy says, She tried, but no matter how sweet she is, they refuse to worship her." Max says, "Who thought a child of superheroes could become a villain?" "Oh, right. That's him. Or that was him." Candy says, "Just be glad they didn't turn her into a gingerbread cookie, like her parents. They don't live in gingerbread houses now." By the way, we never find out the fate of her parents. Do they get turned back to regular cell? We never know. we just don't know. Like, forget about this. They just do. I'm guessing they get turned back to normal. We'll never know. Or they stay in Max's layer the rest of the series, the rest of the season. We'll never know. We'll never know. Yeah. Falcon pleads with Candy to let him out, but she says no. And that's the moment where I was like, yeah, this girl needs therapy. She obviously has mental problems, and she needs therapy. So she said, and she goes off to brainwash the town. Max says it's no use. Phoebe says this is her one chance to redeem herself from endangering town, and she failed. Max says they can't let a sugar crazed twerp take over Hiddenville. Klaus says they won't, because Klaus is gonna save them. Phoebe says, I thought Klaus was on Candy's team, and he says he's even dressed like her furry twin. Klaus says he was just pretending. He was just pretending to be on Candy's side so she wouldn't turn him into a chocolate bunny. Max says, but Klaus hated Max for turning good. Max says he did, but he missed his best friend. He wants he says he wants his sugar mama back. Just no. Who thought these were funny? Who thought making a joke about a boy crushing on a teenage girl was funny? And who thought sugar mama jokes funny? Who is perverted on this writing team to think these jokes are okay? Max says he missed Colosso and missed his best. And Phoebe says, are they done couple counseling? Could they get out of here? Klaus says it's time to eat them free. Good thing his treats days are it's treats day, so Klaus starts his cotton candy. Back in Antarctica. Nora says, okay, Chloe, they know she misses Himville, but since it's dinner time, they thought they could eat it at Splatburger. Of course, Chloe says cool, and Billy speeds off. Barb says, the kids are so thoughtful. Hank says he can't believe Chloe's getting started. They were there first. Chloe orders a hamburger, and Billy says, Billy, you're cute. So Billy crashes through the ceiling, and obviously would probably die, but doesn't. He probably should. He crashed through a ceiling that would probably kill him. But it doesn't. Because it's a kid's show and they can't show a main character's death on screen. So, Billy survives even though a crash through a roof would probably kill him. But it doesn't. And he gives Chloe her hamburger despite the fact that would kill him. Despite the fact that he's dead. Meanwhile, in Hiddenville, everyone is saying that Candy Falconman is my Wolfgang on the Wolfgang. Candy Falcon says, they don't have to say that. Oh, right, they do, because she's making them. Ha 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 ha. Phoebe says, candy may be sweet, but so is ice cream. Max says, hold a second, Candy. Wait, what? Yeah, I don't get it either, Max. Candy tells her friends tells them to crush them like peanut brittle, and she leaves. Phoebe says they have to stop them hurting her friend, so she uses her telekinesis on them, but they get it right back up. Max tries to say that Allison's mind controlled, and even though she doesn't know it, he is her bae. And then Allison punches him, and even though it was a soft punch, Max groans in agony. That was obviously a punch that wouldn't even hurt him. Phoebe says how they corner them saying Candy Falconman is my Wolfgang on the Wolfgang. But Phoebe says how can they all be their best friend? That when a person can only have one best friend. Max says, which means that everyone else is trying to steal their new best friend. So everyone pushes each other as Max and Phoebe leave. Meanwhile, back in Antarctica, Billy, who should be dead by the way, is not. And Nora says, next on the things that Chloe likes about Hiddenville is Max's slide? I've never seen Chloe on the thing before in the previous season. So Chloe says, "Is that thing safe?" And Nora says, "Don't know." That's why we sent Billy first. Billy, of course, crashes and Chloe passes. Chloe says, "Yeah, she'll pass." Well, again, that should also kill Billy, but that also should kill Billy. He literally crashed into an icicle, but it doesn't because he's the main character. So Billy doesn't die even though he should. Again. Yeah. So Billy ices his injury on the couch. Chloe says she still misses Hinville. Nora says her too. She wants to go home. Hank gives a passionate speech saying, "Look, guys, I know home isn't a map. Home is where family is. Home is in our hearts." Nora says, "Our hearts are freezing." And Hank says, Bob says, "Maybe the kids are right. Their families belong in Hinville." Hank says, She knows she heard President. He knows, but she heard President kick, but they can't go back." But Chloe, of course, says, "Why not? She took Phoebe and Max back." Literally, Phoebe literally said previously, "Chloe, don't tell anyone." And Chloe literally said, "Duh, I don't want my powers taken away." But here she is telling them. So, yeah. So they're like, so Barb's like, Chloe is like, Chloe transported Max and Phoebe to Hinville. Teleported Max and Phoebe to Hinville, and Chloe's like, "This is awkward." Meanwhile, in the Thunder House, Candy is using her Phoebe literally says they have to talk about Hank about all their holes in the roof as Candy captures Max. But Phoebe evades Candy, even evades Candy's gumdrop bombs or whatever they're called. But it's captured by Phoebe sees the satellite and is like, maybe we can use, and then Max is like, maybe we can do what we did. And Max is like, with Mrs. Wong, I think. I just love Max joke about Mrs. Wong. So they both use their powers to freeze the satellite, causing it to short circuit, causing it to blast Candy all the way to Splatburger, and we never see this girl again. I guess she's mentioned in the Thunderman's Returns movie, but yeah, she crashes into Splatburger and is, I guess, arrested off screen or something. And we never find out what happened to her parents. Did they let them go? Are they still gingerbread people? We'll never know. Yeah. Everyone's released from the hypnotized state, and Phoebe back home, they let Phoebe out of their house. Max and Phoebe have a good moment, but that's when the family teleports in, and that's when Super President Kickbutt teleports in, saying she told them if they came back, she would force remove their powers. Phoebe says she knows they disobeyed her order, but their town and their friends needed them. Hank says, yeah, they came back because they love Hinville. They all do. Phoebe says if she wants to punish a family of superheroes for loving their home, then go ahead. Take their powers. Cut to her holding a ceremony where they're about to take their powers. I love that Mrs. Wong is here because she's like, Max's great speech, Phoebe. And Phoebe says she meant every word. Hinville is safe because of them, but because they won't be superheroes anymore, but at least they'll be home. Mrs. Wong says, is this going to hurt them? So Brian Kickbutt says no, and Mrs. Wong says, can it? I love it. I love you, Mrs. Wong. Can it? And I love Mrs. Wong. Super Kickbutt says, sorry she has to do this, and she takes their powers away. It is done. But of course, making everyone leave. And then an announcer comes back to basically be like, this just in, the Thundermans are now boring regular people. But of course, that was all a ruse. She didn't take their powers away. She only made it look like that But then what was all that sparking and that them looking like their powers were being taken away? What was up with that? If that was all fake to make it look like their powers were being taken away, then what was up with all this colorful light show? So yeah, of course, because this is the show, Super President Kipnis, she didn't take their powers away. She's just needed to convince the town that they were not suits, so things go back to normal. Or as in normal, wacky hijinks that only the Thundermans can do. That's what she means by normal. Phoebe says she doesn't get it. They just obeyed her order. But Barb's like, girl, stop talking and just be thankful we didn't lose our powers. It's just like Phoebe said, her and Max risked everything to save the town. That's what makes them true superheroes. Cherry comes out, which, again, I was saying previously that I'm surprised they didn't try to take Cherry's memories away. Cherry's, for some reason, important to the show, so she's the only one that needs to remember Phoebe has superpowers. I don't know why. I guess because that's her whole character arc. Barb says she's proud of them for working together. Max says, no problem, but don't expect them to be this regular thing. Then a hologram Z-Force comes through saying, congratulating Phoebe and Max. They're now both part of Family's First Law, the legendary Z-Force. As a team. And Chloe says, now that is awkward. To end the episode. So, wow. That was season 4's premiere. I'm excited to see what this season is going to bring on. It seems like the main storyline is going to be about Max and Phoebe training together for the Z-Force with classic hijinks about them not being able to work together and them having to come together as a team, obviously. And there's obviously going to be a bunch of bleep pots, and then there's going to be like one or two specials, I think. So, yeah. Next episode, we got Smells Like Team Spirit. I'm excited to see what's going to happen, and hope you join me, because now that we're on the final season of this glorious show, I'm excited to see what's going to happen next on this glorious show. But, yeah. Yeah, this season may be the longest season of the Thundermans to date. It was only, I think it has 32 episodes. So I'm excited to go through all these 32 episodes and review them along with you. But that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.